opportunity. I am Angel Grace Arturalde and I will discuss freedom and responsibility. They say freedom is not worth having if it does not include the freedom to make mistakes. Authentic freedom is being able to choose even if your choice ends up being the wrong one. Now, what does freedom mean to you? It is our free will, liberty, rights, freedom of speech, freedom of choice, and autonomy. Freedom is the power or right to act, speak, or think as one wants without hindrance or restraint. It is the choice to live life doing what you want, live where you want, to eat by choice, and to learn what your heart desires. Now, we have the types of freedom. We have internal freedom, external freedom, self-freedom, political freedom, spiritual freedom, and lastly, collective freedom. First is the internal freedom. The first and basic type of freedom is embodied by the chapped in jail. It is of the greatest personal intimacy and secretiveness. Indeed, it is the hidden core of our being and unknowable by others. Some people call this moral freedom, but this kind of freedom is not itself moral. Internal freedom, therefore, freedom from thinking, freedom from ideas, beliefs, and from goals. Achieving goals by oneself, breaking bad habits, and having perseverance are all examples of having internal freedom. Next, we have self-freedom, in the sense of learning how to escape the ever-present danger of enslavement by our own passion and ignorance. It is the practice of our self-control, restraint, and balance to achieve the admired master-slave relationship of soul over body. It is sometimes called to find myself. Self-freedom is an inner state of a being which has to be cherished in every moment of life. Gifting yourself with your own freedom is the greatest feeling one can ever have. Next, we have external freedom. This refers to the normal and common freedom expected in daily life in most countries throughout history. Sometimes it is called freedom from. It implies immunity from undue interference by authority, especially by government. External freedom is what drives the external actions an individual performs in order to make things happen. External freedom results from social, political, and financial constraints, and the presence or lack of security. Next is political freedom. It is sometimes called freedom too. It has to do with establishing certain rights of action and limits the government power that help to guarantee the practice of those rights. The right to speak freely, to associate with people of your choice, to own property, to worship. Political freedom is the ability of the nation's citizens to participate freely in the political process. We have also the collective freedom. Sometimes it is called freedom for. It is based on ideology of collective unity that prescribes distinct social and moral values and objectives for all. Lastly, we have spiritual freedom. This type of freedom comes from striving for a complete identification with God to arrive at a condition of soul that transcends of the self and the material world. Spiritual freedom is seeing God on your own terms. It refers to a state where a person is socially and spiritually free, allowing him to prosper both materially and spiritually. I believe in the saying, with freedom comes with great responsibility. Unfortunately, some of us don't seem to be responsible. We, as a human, have been given free will from God. Although, if we make choices based on our own free will, we must be willing to be responsible for the effects that our decisions have on ourselves, on the people around us, and the society as well. Now, what does responsibility means to you? As defined, responsibility is a duty or obligation to satisfactorily perform or complete a task that one must fulfill and which has a consequent penalty for failure. For example, your parents expect you to brush your teeth. Brushing your teeth is a responsibility, and it is your responsibility to brush your teeth every day. This time, what is the context of responsibility? In legal, it is what can be established in a court on the basis of evidence. It is subject to additional legal criteria. While in moral, it is what the person actually did, or the truth and discovery. It is subject to further moral criteria. We have the four kinds of responsibility. First is the role responsibility. It is the duties one has for doing various things which come with occupying a certain role in society. Role responsibility focuses on positive duties to provide for the welfare of others. Second is the causal responsibility. It is what caused something to happen. This means that an agent is causally responsible for an effect. We need to know that she actually caused it. Third is the liability responsibility. It is who is the liable for something's happen. To be liable for something is to be legally responsible for that thing. Fourth is the capacity responsibility. It is the capacity of a person to be held liable and responsible for their action. Now, let me show you the relata of the responsibility. We have the agent of responsibility, the object of responsibility, and the party the agent is responsible to. At least, the concept of responsibility requires the relata, a subject, an object, and an instance. Albert Hubbard states that responsibility is the price of freedom. It is true that responsibility is the price of freedom. We can freely use the electricity to play games on computer or stream on social media. But after that, you have the responsibility to pay your bills. Currently, we are experiencing COVID-19 pandemic. Now, we are given by the government the consent to go out. We are now free to go to malls, eat at restaurants, celebrate with our loved ones. However, we are liable and accountable to take responsibility to ourselves if we unfortunately get the disease. We are free to express ourselves in social media, but we must be responsible on whatever we are posting because a lot of people can use that against you. It is your reputation that counts. Each of us has own abilities and skills that we can freely express. In every power and strength that we have, we must always keep in mind that it comes with responsibility. In every action that we do, we must hold accountable in ourselves. Enjoying our freedom does not mean that we disregard the rights of others and live the way we feel right. We have to consider the rights and feelings of people around us when living our freedom. Again, I am Angel Grace Arturalde. Thank you for listening.